The former Prime Minister of Turkey, Ahmet Davutoglu, says it's quite a shame that the Arab League as well as Muslim countries have failed to join South Africa when it took Israel to the International Court of Justice. Davutoglu says as billions of women around the world are celebrating Mother's Day today, for women in Gaza there are no celebrations. And in an exclusive interview with SABC News' international editor Sophie Mokoena, Davutoglu says the world will never forget South Africa for being a torchbearer of humanity.
Invitation for an global anti-apartheid conference in South Africa 2 weeks ago only. I decided to come because I have committed to Palestinian cause and I have committed to South Africa, Republic of South Africa, and South Africa played a significant role. So the venue itself was important. And the substance, the participants, they are from all over the world. From the very beginning of this genocide, starting October, the international media claimed that this is a war between Israel and Hamas. This is not a war between Israel and Hamas. This is not a war between Israel and Gaza. This is not a war between Israel and Palestine. This is not a war between Israel and Arabs or Muslims. This is a war between Israel and humanity. In fact, South Africa showed to the world that very simple reality. This genocide is against humanity. And the participants came from all over the world. Social activists, some statesmen, intellectuals. When they came together, they formed a community, a world community. And that world community raised the voice against genocide. We are grateful to South Africa for the leadership. We are grateful to President Ramaphosa, Mr. Pandor, for their leading role in this sense. Humanity will never forget what South Africa did. So both aspects were important. The venue, South Africa, and the subject is to stop genocide in Gaza.
In 1948, after the Second World War, when the United Nations was formed, after the failure of the League of Nations, the intention was to maintain the world peace. In your observation as a veteran internationalist, is the UN still relevant?
To be frank, I wrote, unfortunately I have to say that it is not as relevant as before. I wrote a book, 2020, published by Cambridge University Press on world order. I suggested a UN reform because today UN reflects the balance of power of mid-90s. But now we are approaching to mid-20s. It was 19th century. Now we are in the 20th century. Now we are in the 21st century. Many things have changed. Cold War ended. This war in Gaza showed all the weaknesses of international order. When we say order based on two things, values and institutions. Values which we produce together after so many centuries, human rights, all of them have been violated in Gaza. What South African people observed, lived under apartheid, now Palestinians are living. And apartheid was in 20th century. In 21st century, we have another apartheid in Palestine, another genocide. So values have been violated. Institutions. For example, under UN, we have UNICEF. Did we see any concrete action of UNICEF to help children in Gaza? They are making reports, right reports, but they don't have power to implement this. We have World Health Organization. There are so many reports by World Health Organization that there is an urgent need of medical assistance on the ground. But who will be doing this? Because UN Security Council is preventing everything, veto by US, preventing this humanitarian assistance by force. If Israel prevents this, it is against interim order of International Court of Justice. Let's say UN High Commissioner for Refugees. Refugee camps have been bombarded. UN Human Rights Council, all the human values are violated. FAO. So what I mean, the institutions of world order have collapsed. Why? Not because they don't see the reality on the ground, they see. But there is no political will of international players, global players. Fortunately, we had this very courageous action of South Africa, so that at least International Court of Justice functioned. If there was no South Africa applying to ICJ, ICJ wouldn't be doing anything. It means political will is important. Political will of President Ramaphosa, Minister Pandor, make a change in International Court of Justice. Now, I made a proposal together with 139 intellectuals we call Global Conscious Initiative, former statesmen, president, prime ministers, UN officers. We made an appeal 3 weeks back, a call to world leaders that there should be a special action plan for Nakba Day, 15th of May. Nakba Day is the day of catastrophe for Palestinians. That all those countries recognizing the rights of Palestinians should declare a global day of mourning throughout the world, and flags should be lowered, must. And there should be a UN General Assembly summit level meeting, not ambassador level like what we had yesterday. Summit level meeting where presidents, prime ministers will come and make a joint meeting, accept a resolution mandating UNICEF, World Health Organization, all relevant international organizations for special missions on Gaza. So institutions, we need institutions and political will. We are missing now values, institutions and political will. That is unfortunately the end of global values and order.
You spoke about solidarity and what you have done getting these academics and intellectuals, including former leaders. The question is, you also spoke about the case at the International Court of Justice, that action by South Africa. Why members of the Arab League are not joining South Africa in this case?
To be ashamed, to be frank, I feel shame on behalf of Arab and Muslim countries. In November, I wrote a letter to several leaders, including President Ramaphosa, for an action plan, including International Court of Justice. When I heard South African application, I have to say my feelings. I was so proud in the name of South Africa. And unfortunately, South Africa was left alone. I am here as former Prime Minister of Turkey from the region. I am here to express my gratitude, my appreciation on behalf of Turkish nation, on behalf of all the nations of the region, to President Ramaphosa, Minister Pandor, to President Mbeki, whom I saw yesterday. History will not forget what South Africa did today. History will make a judgment on those who are silent and who are collaborators of genocide. Unfortunately, Arab and Muslim countries, they are silent. Being silent is not being neutral. In this type of cases, being silent means supporting aggressors. Therefore, in my speech today, I made a call to all leaders, including Turkey and other Muslim countries and Arab countries, to stop all normalization processes with Israel. Now, Israel is not an ordinary country. Israel is a country committing genocide.